let me get the door here. So yeah, we're just waiting till 5:30. It'll be a short meeting, I hope. Or
let me just say, Chuck, I think it's a great idea to, have a, a wrap up where you can talk about, what to do for next year before everyone forgets.
yeah, I always try to make some notes, especially with the new venue, but I'm really pretty happy with the way everything turned out. Everybody seems to.
Yeah.
Hi, Maria. Things are going good. Just see how it goes here. I know our new PR candidate was going to come by, David.
Oh, great.
David Taylor. And
is he a candidate that we got through the event?
yeah, he found out about it, I believe, from participating in the event.
Nice.
He's got experience with PR, so that's going to be a critical thing going forward to try to get better free publicity. So I attached the meeting summary from the last meeting. We don't really have a quorum, so that'll be fine. I just attached my notes about what to do differently next year. Did you have something to add to that, Gary?
Yeah, I can talk a little bit about the EV show and test drive operation a bit. Do you want me to get started now?
Yeah, that'll be fine. Hi, Jen.
Okay, let me get this cleared off my screen and I'll be able to switch to that. Okay.
Did you want to share your screen?
No, it's just a few, it'll just be a few quick points here. I just need to bring it up to the top here. Yeah, okay. So in terms of, things that went great and kind of challenges that we had. So the thing that went great was that, we did have enough traffic, and our strategy of sending, having two tents, basically one to send people over to the ride and drive operation, did overall work, and we met our objective of 50 test drives with 66 total and over 94, or a total of 94 test drives and rides. So that was great. That was what we were shooting for, plus some. And another thing that went great was that previous years when we were at Summit Park, we actually needed 2 volunteers working pretty much full time, so that as a test drive car pulled out for people to take a ride, we had to put a cone there right away, because people would instantly fill it with a gas car. And with the reserved lot, we didn't have to do that. So that was a big win. It was great having, first time we had the EV school bus there. So that was great to have. We need to, I think, leverage it better, which kind of, it leads me to some of the challenges that we might think about for next year, one of which is, can we leverage that EV school bus better? For example, if we could offer rides, there's a lot of people you could put on there. So, we could have a ride once an hour or something, but I don't know if anyone would show up to take them. So, that's kind of a question I'd be interested in what people thought on that. I'd be happy to talk with the company who was just there for display purposes. So you could talk with the bus driver, and some people did take the time to do that and climb on board, look at the you know, what it looks like for the driver and all that. But you know, if we could offer some rides, do you think anyone would take one?
Yeah, do we need that whole lot? Could we use just half of it?
We wouldn't need the whole lot. It's simpler if we do have the whole lot, because part of it actually we didn't even have. So, you know, it turned out that the parking lot operator, you know, had sold off part of its capacity for some event that was starting later. But they roped off like a whole bunch of places that were just filled with gas cars for the later event. And then we filled up part of it with people that were exhibitors and were just parking their cars and taking off. So I didn't count those. You know, we had 34 EVs that were actually there for the showcase or there for test drives. But, you know, we had a whole bunch of other ones filling up spaces that maybe, you know, 10 or so from exhibitors. And so, you know, that might increase a bit next year. So we used most of the lot, but not all of it by any means.
Well,
we
you
don't
know,
want to use all the lot anyway, because it's better if you can park every other so that people don't open up car doors and hit the adjacent car. So, you know, we didn't need quite all the space, but we needed a lot of space and we used most of it.
Well, $2,000 for the lot is a lot. I can't believe maybe we can try to negotiate that a bit.
Yeah, and I don't know how you can really,
We paid,
you know, close, you know, 3/4 of the
CDC.
lot. You know, I'm not sure that would really work. But we can kind of revisit that, I think, for next year. One other thing that I would like to think about for next year is that indeed one of the challenges is that you don't have people, you know, people are in the park, right? The attendees, and you have to persuade them to leave the park and they have to know where to go. So we had a row of noisy food trucks that were in the line of sight. So you actually, even though we tried to lay it out so that you could see from the park, you really couldn't because the food trucks were in the way. So we could move the food trucks so the geometry worked so that, you know, you could actually see it. That would, you know, see the pathway to walk to get there. That would help for next year. So, you know, something to think. I know you're going to revisit the food trucks some anyway. So, I mean, one thing you might do is just.
Well, I just don't know what to say about that. They have their ways of doing things. Well, it was a very successful first year and I really appreciate the hard work. I think your numbers show that it was successful, and if the city's willing to contribute that money for the lot, I'm all for it too. So it's probably a good investment for the city. They're willing to front it. So and it feels like they're gonna finance this to the same amount next year. So we're good. I mean, I would just do everything the same, but I really want to work on promotion. You know, like buying the program on City Beat, we should have bought it 2 weeks before the back cover. Nobody saw that City Beat by Sunday. I don't think, you know, unless it came out on.
It came out, it was supposed to come out on Wednesday, but I mean, I didn't see it anywhere.
I didn't see it
until
anywhere.
Thursday.
Yeah.
I mean, I looked around, I looked.
Right, me too. So that's something that will really have a lot better. It's
a really great idea.
Yeah, I think
My sister was like, we should do it now. And I was like, we don't have our map done in time. Because our printing, we have to upload like end of February for March to come out, right? It's the timing.
well, we'll work on that some more, but Gary, just to wrap up, fantastic job. It looks like we're just going to do it the same way next year.
All right. One thing that we didn't revisit that is worth bringing up is the liability insurance, which ended up being, you know, a real angst producer. You know,
well, what happened on that, Gary? I pulled the trigger and bought the insurance online for about $1,100 the day before.
Yep.
And Carol with 3CDC never replied to me, never communicated, but I was required to buy the insurance, so I did. But on the insurance I bought, I removed any vehicular liability.
Yeah,
And we'll see. Hopefully they'll go for the same thing next year. And
Yeah.
I'm just going to do the same thing I did next year. We had all the secondary insurance people on the policy. So hopefully it'll just be the same deal, and everybody will be happy. And there won't be any, because I could buy this online from the same.
I know it was so easy. It just, if we could have avoided all the, all the stuff ahead of you're actually doing it, that would be great.
Well,
I think it turned out
wonderful.
wonderful, and indeed, from a liability point of view, our ride and drive operation is the same as it's been in previous years, only safer for the reason I talked about, where you don't have all these cars constantly driving by the ride and drive area. So if anything, we're safer than ever. So I think we could just repeat next year and not have all this back and forth about whether that's good enough. I think that would be great.
Well, I'll talk to Carol about it, and if I can change things to make it a little less expensive, but that's what we budget. And that was fine. But that's a good point. Well, good. Thank you so much, and thanks for attending, Gary. Just to continue on here, I don't know whether I've got anybody wanting to join us. It's kind of a light meeting. Lauren emailed her comments to everybody, so we got that. Maria, what did you have to add?
Well, I thought that the music went really, really well. I was very excited about our two new groups. And I think they were excited to be there. That was the very, very first performance for the SCPA marching band. Really? Very first. I had no idea. I knew that they were brand new this year. That was their first performance.
Oh, that's so fun.
So that was fantastic. Cool. So it was really, really fun. I felt like the sound was not. I felt like the sound didn't travel very far, and that probably if we use 3CDC's sound system, that it would travel further. Now, obviously, we don't want it to go too far, but I did feel like it was very limited.
Using the speakers within the park?
Yeah, well, no, like they've got a sound system that's set up there, which we did not use. We used the sound system from the Cincinnati Music Accelerator, which is
why we didn't use there.
Because theirs was super expensive, right? Like how much was it going to be? Do you remember?
I would probably have thought maybe $3,000.
Something like that.
No.
And we spent,
Why?
well, we spent 2,000 with CMA. But I just bring it up because I think we should at least we our options open with that as a possibility for next year, because I think it would be good to be able to.
Yeah. Well, we can.
On the flip side, my sister was like, it was so nice not to have such loud music.
And I totally, I agree with that
It
too.
was really funny. I was like,
Yeah.
there's like two sides to this story.
Yeah, absolutely. But, so I think, I also think we need more seating. I mean, that's something that we kind of threw in at the very end.
Yeah.
And they even brought over more seating.
Oh, really?
And that seating was full the whole time.
Yeah.
Adirondack chairs.
Those Adirondack
They're
chairs.
so adorable.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that was something, but overall, I thought it was really good. Greater Cincinnati Waterworks, I think, their deal was good. I want them to get there earlier next year.
And they also broke down. I mean, not right at, it was like 4:40 because I had gone up to get water and they were like, anyway,
Really?
yeah, it totally broke down
Okay,
early.
that's good to know. I did not know that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which I mean, everybody's breaking down early, right? So it's kind of like,
but
do we adjust our time or does everybody just break down early all the time? You know, I don't know. Like
I don't know.
at any given festival, do you
Right,
say,
right. If it,
if it ends at 4, I'm going to start breaking down at 3:30? You know what I mean? I don't know.
Probably. I think
From a participant perspective, I mean, it's all depends on the vibe, right? There's like a bunch of people around. Then probably not
Yeah.
good if there's not. More people have stuff to do.
and
I
just to
know.
introduce David, this is David Taylor.
Sorry, I'm David Taylor.
He-
Yeah.
And he's interested in the board position, helping with the PR.
Yeah.
perfect.
And so really happy about that. So this is
Excited.
your first meeting and we'll induct you in October.
That's great.
But we can get together beforehand and talk about this, David, what
Sounds
our
great.
ideas are. Anything else, Maria?
No, I mean, those were really my big takeaways, and I know it is funny because everybody has a different feel for.
We can move my sister.
No, right. Is she close to the stage?
Yeah, because we're like on that spot thing. So we were,
Yeah,
We're always,
I talked to her. She was like in the circle.
yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying make it really loud. All I'm saying is make it so that you can even hear it back by her at all.
I know,
You
right?
know,
Yeah,
that's all I'm concerned.
I agree. Yeah, it was kind of, I had to go, I had to be intentional if I wanted to hear it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I feel like, I think we're doing a disservice to our folks who come to play that if we're not at least giving them a
Yeah.
system that is loud enough to at least get this sound out there a little bit.
Yeah,
So that's what I feel.
yeah.
We can work on that.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's all I have.
Well, nothing from Dulce. Tyler, anything to report?
The overall statement at the end of April was a little less than $11,000, looking over the progress of everything's April. So far so good as far as keeping everything on track. And unless there's been any other outstanding news, I would believe that every check that I've written out in the mail has gone through to the appropriate recipients. I know right before this meeting, there was the whole thing with the parking, went through all of that, pay stub in the mail. So I would believe, unless proven otherwise, that it went through.
Yeah, I just got confirmation today. The parking that passes, but I'm also gonna talk to them about the fact that we've got some left over. Can we use them next year? And then that one didn't work.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I thought you told me that one.
What me?
Somebody else did, so. Well, good, we'll get a better final report by October. And Jen, anything what happened with the food trucks?
A pretty good day. The Asian fusion truck sold out. but
Oh,
Jen's hot
Red
tamales-
Sesame?
Yeah,
Is it Red Sesame?
thank you. Yeah, Red Sesame
They
sold out.
always
but-
sell-
I know, right?
I know, they're so good.
Jen's hot tamales sold out tamales, but she said she didn't have a great day. And I'm like, I don't know.
How can you sell out in
Poor planning.
Unless they only sold tamales.
No, they also had other. But yeah, but she said that this is the second year in a row. So I'm like, are you Debbie Downer? Because like, how do you balance it all? Like nobody else, I kind of flew through it the end bit because I was working with the greater Cincinnati, the career fair folks had purchased like coupons for the food trucks. So they created like these little coupons. If you attended the job fair in the bag, you got this
Right.
$5 off. So we were going around, Tyler and I were going around paying the food trucks for the volunteer meals and then also for those $5 meals. And then I was talking. So I went to Thanapat
Yeah.
rather than talking with trucks. And so like I don't really have a strong sense other than those two very disparate points of view. So it's somewhere in between. Yeah. But overall, I mean, it seemed like a steady flow out there all day. I mean, I think, I just wonder about that placement, because you can't see the food trucks.
Yeah,
I know. On.
yeah, they're behind
On Elm Street.
the
Yeah.
parking entrance and even Ann from World Peace Yoga said she didn't know where the food trucks were.
Yeah.
So
right,
that,
yeah.
okay, that's interesting because, you know, if you're down here at all for any festivals, that's where they have to find out. But if you're not familiar, then
Right.
you don't know. And maybe we need to do a better job of announcing, hey, food trucks are over there. So having our MC
Signage.
have that and having signage, like you said, yeah.
Yeah, it's
But
good.
those things might be a really good thing. But if you are down here,
Yeah.
you know,
You know.
then you know. If you know, you know, right? That's where they.
Well, once again, I'd like to get the program out. One of my ideas was to make
Right.
every exhibitor pick up 10 copies of the program.
Right.
And
Oh, yeah.
to check in, they're gonna pick up the program, take it back to their booth. So that-
Oh, that's a good idea.
Did the exhibitors, did they all check in? I mean.
That was
part
kind of
it?
happenstance.
Because maybe that's what, you know, say, okay, you need to check in.
Right.
because Blah, 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 right?
That's really interesting too, because we could give it to the food trucks, because they're out and about before this event too, so we could figure out how to distribute them.
Well, we're gonna do it 2 weeks in advance, so we'll be able to distribute
Yeah.
to the food.
What is the program? I mean,
It was the back cover and the inside back cover of City Beat.
okay. Oh, yeah. I know, yeah, I got one.
Yeah.
As I've heard, I mean, I don't know if they still have it. Yeah, yes.
I think so. The other interesting bit that happened was another food truck came up, and parked across, so we're on Elm between 13th and 14th.
Yeah.
And he parked on Elm between 14th and 15th. And it was a pizza truck, which we don't have, and we haven't had for a couple years, and I think that's a good addition.
And he came over and said, hey, I'm here.
Yeah,
It was very strange.
He wasn't, he's not all together there. Chef Jeff,
Chef Jeff.
and Neapolitan pizza, brand spanking new food truck.
Yeah.
It's like a truck that, like a thing that's, yes, exactly right. I know, right. There's, on the one hand, it's like, he's paying attention, right?
Right.
So he knows that there's something going on, but on the other, like, all of his colleagues paid $175 to be there, right? So he's skimming off there.
Yeah, right. He's not allowed to do that. So,
I
Right,
would
but he
say-
is, he has a food permit and he can be wherever.
well, he was in the next block.
He couldn't, Carol was like, I can't do anything about it because it's not along.
And I will say that that happens around here a lot,
For sure, yeah,
you know.
it's awesome.
So
It's-
just,
Yeah,
just to say,
Wow.
living down here, I mean, I see it.
I know,
You
yeah,
see,
yeah.
okay, oh, there's this big thing, and then here's this road. food truck that
Interesting.
is like
Road, yeah,
there.
right. So, yeah.
So I'll reach out to him next year, but there've got to be more people like him. That would be like the road food truck, and so.
Yeah, as the festival grows,
Yeah.
we'll have more of that.
Right.
Road food trucks.
That was really interesting. Then he goes up to BJ at Red Sesame and is talking about me in front of me. And I was like, oh, this is really interesting to hear a replay of my conversation from. It was like 80% accurate. It was really funny. I was like, okay, cool. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, so we might have a new pizza truck next year, which is cool, because we're heavy on the Mexican side. So,
Well, good. We'll keep it about the same number. And once again, we're gonna be really work on promotion. Had a good start.
Can we get, Deeper Roots to come next year, or is that like a no-go
I
ever?
don't think
And they're starting in the Mercantile building. I noticed that's their store.
really.
I went there yesterday and they're opening a store in the Mercantile, so.
Yeah.
So maybe.
Yeah,
that's
John said they don't do this type of stuff. They don't have the
Oh.
proper food.
Gotcha.
functions.
Okay.
So he referred me out to, it's a really interesting concept. So you hire food or coffee people, pay them in advance, like $700, and they serve for free.
Oh,
I don't know. I'll have to think through it.
There's a
So like
coffee.
imagine you go to a wedding at the wedding,
Sure,
at the
they-
reception. and
right.
you have
They're-
coffee. That's the
yes,
concept.
yes.
But so this is just a different way to look at it. We had that coffee guy reach out to us very early on, and I balked at responding because I wanted deeper roots. And then I had a hard time getting a hold of deeper roots. And by the time we were ready for him, this guy just ghosted us. So I can reach out to this other truck earlier rather than later.
Yeah.
So just a general question with PR advertising, are you guys looking for additional food trucks? Yeah, you guys are good.
Yeah. We've got a couple of the best ones in the city, GCEC and
I believe so.
Right there on the program.
Oh, it's right here.
I don't have my reading eyes on, so. don't make me get 'em.
And yeah, so and they draw people in, and then there are a couple of women-owned food trucks which I really like, the Jen's Hot Tamales and the
Oh, here they are.
Distillas.
Yeah.
Texas show.
Red Hot Smokin' is African American, which I really appreciate, even though they use styrofoam with every here.
Mhm.
And although they were good I think they were good this year. I didn't see much styrofoam.
Well, my volunteer lunch was redeemed with that food truck, and I liked it.
Yeah, they all. I mean, it's always.
So,
They're all
that's
really
cool.
good.
Yeah,
That's a good
cool. No,
question.
that's-
Yeah. So we'll add this pizza guy next year, and then the coffee truck. Kona's Ice always asks to bring coffee as well, but I try to disperse the opportunities,
Sure.
so it's not just one vendor making all the money on drinks. So yeah, and Cincinnati's they really like patterns, right? And so having the same consistent folks every year also seems to draw.
Well, it
It's
was
really interesting. Yeah. So-
different venue, lot of changes.
And everybody was super excited to be downtown. So so that was really nice too. They wondered how it was gonna be because Summit every year was so great, but.
It was a good start. I think everybody will be happier if we have more people.
Yes, right, yeah, always.
We were
Well-
talking about coffee stuff and what you were mentioning with coffee stuff. And recently at Fifth Third, there was this coffee cart, I believe it was called Nebula.
Oh.
And they were handing out free coffee during the afternoon at one point. It was actually the week after the Earth Day Festival, because it was kind of an Earth Day thing where we were handing out trees, like these tree branches that people could plant. We did this before in the past, and we did it again. Humorously, the turnout wasn't as big, and the first thought was maybe because we had it on a lower floor and moved it upstairs, maybe people didn't know, even though we thought that area had a good amount of foot traffic, or at least it does during the peak lunch hour. I believe the coffee cart's called Nebula.
Okay.
I believe they would have a program as to what
Yeah.
you're looking for. I'd also would shout out Brew Brothers, which
Yeah.
I've been a fan of for years.
Yeah, Prodcom was really good too. So yeah, I can reach out to all the people. I might reach out to the guy that reached out to us first, just to see if we can get onto his calendar for next year.
Well, good.
We don't have a date for next year, right?
No.
Right,
And
it's
once again, we
the-
try to figure out if we can't get that as earlier. So any rate, if that's all, Jen, I don't know whether you wanted to say some more, David, about what your thoughts on the event was and
So
sure.
the long story short is, my daughter's a sophomore at UC. She's in pre-med. She has to do volunteer work as a part of what she does. And so, I've gone with her. Actually, we went down to the Flying Pig and did the finish line, which is really awesome. So anyway, prior to the Flying Pig, hey, I'm gonna do Earth Day. And I did it with her last year on the green team. People like going around like, like garbage patrol for the Flying Pig. Had not done Earth Day. So came down and, it was just a great vibe. I mean, I had a great, as I was a participant, had great conversations with all these different vendors. When actually you mentioned the waterworks, I talked to those guys for a while. I learned, do you know what I'm gonna forget what it's called now. If one person per household uses one wipeable disposable wipe, it causes these big giant balls to form that they have to like get rid of. It's disgusting.
Well, they're called fat birds. It's all
There
this
you go.
fat grease and all of these flushable wipes they can feel. I learned the term years ago because London has a really bad problem with this because their
Yeah.
sewers are centuries old, older than
Yeah.
the city. And it takes them days with hoses and chiseling it by hand to break them up.
So it's like, man, we compete against this anyway. So,
People from the waterworks were telling me about that.
yeah, they were like,
So my
they were
husband
on
works
it.
for MSD, that's why I'm like,
Oh,
he probably knows about this too. What are they called? What?
Fat birds.
Fat,
Fat
like
birds.
iceberg, but fat.
Oh, fat bird.
Fat
Fat
birds.
birds.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
all right. I'm gonna bring that up and my husband's gonna be like, whoa.
So learn all kinds of stuff, and then
Do you make these wipes? Because honestly,
Oh,
like
well,
they're right here, like come
yeah.
on.
Yeah. Anyway, so I mean, just to be frank, one of the things that we did on that day was we were unloading yard signs. I was like, I should either got it early. So I started talking to him. I goes, well, yeah, like different things happen and we don't have a PR person. I was like just all excited about it, and much to the chagrin of my wife, I volunteered without asking her and said, man, I would love to do this. So my personal background is I have 40 years experience. I'm old in corporate training, education, communications, some marketing stuff. I did a marketing gig with Ethicon Endosurgeries or part of Johnson and Johnson. Like fascinating. Yeah, I could talk about for a while. And I'm a contractor. I work for NASA. I'm their tier 1 procurement help desk leader. And I also just joined, it's like in my blood now. It's called NASA Engages. So it's a program that NASA has for contractors, employees, or whatever to like go out in the community and spread the good news of NASA. So I'm actually, I'll send you guys a link.
NASA ambassador.
Yeah. Big, I mean, it is like I can't every day. I'm like, because I have a NASA.
Oh, you scored a home run for the picture of the dark side of the moon.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'll send you guys the link. I'm just about done with this presentation. That the bent of my presentation is, I'm saying it differently now, but it's basically passing the torch to a new generation. Because I'm old enough that I remember Apollo.
Right.
And so it's that. And so I'm working on a presentation for schools and blah, blah, blah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Laura Lawley, she's in Cincinnati. She used to be CPS's head of communication.
Oh.
Prior to that, she worked for NASA.
Oh,
I
wow.
don't know what she does now.
Do you connect with
Yeah,
them still?
I don't know if she. I can connect. you.
Yeah, to say, hey, there's some other guy. People,
Yeah.
one thing I will say, my wife was selling an item to this lady and she mentioned that she worked for NASA, or she was like, and she was older than me by quite a bit. But anyway, I said, hey, tell her that I work for NASA, and she was like, shut me down. I said, if you really work for NASA, you wouldn't be asking me about NASA, and like blocked my wife. And it was just like, oh my God, this lady's like out of control. But she put NASA on her profile. Yeah. It's like, really, dude? So anyway, be careful. I don't,
Oh, that's
I mean, say that I work for NASA, but
Oh yeah.
I mean, I would love to talk to anybody.
Are you on LinkedIn?
Yeah.
That would be how I would connect you guys.
Perfect. That's
Oh,
perfect.
so-
It's David STEPHE in middle name, David Stephen Taylor. It might be David S. Taylor now. I used to go by my middle name, and so half of people still call me Stephen. And when I'm mad at myself, I call myself Stephen too. But it's David S. Taylor.
That's
But anyway, I'm very, I just like the community, and I talk to other people, and but anyway, I talk too much. But anyway, I'm very excited. I have lots of ideas. So I have like college students. I have a high school student at Walnut. And so I'm like plugged into like getting more volunteers and, I mean, so PR is like one thing, but like the spirit of PR is like another. So anything I can do to help promote and make connections. And
Yeah, so with your Walnut student, we have a youth, what do we call it? Youth development representative.
Mhm.
on board.
Oh,
That's the
good.
one that student had created, and it
Is it filled?
lapsed last year.
Is it filled?
Danny Kelly was helping, this year.
But we need to pass the, so,
Well, my son might be interested,
yeah.
and he's a 16 going on 35. He
Sure.
just got elected by the English department as the junior poet laureate.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So he's, I think.
It was Miss Rayburn's daughter who started. it.
Oh, yeah,
so-
sure, yeah, sure.
Yeah, she started the role.
I will, I mean, can you send me the information?
Sure.
Is there information to be sent on it, or do I just?
But I will send it, yeah, for sure.
Well, David, welcome. I
Anyway,
appreciate
sorry.
it.
Yeah,
We'll be,
I'm excited.
working together to,
Yeah.
work with the manager that we typically hire and, try to get more free publicity, so that's the idea.
I have a friend that works at Channel 9.
We'll do that. So, Gary gave us a report and Stephen, did you have anything that you wanted to wrap up with the Green Career Fair about?
Yes, I do. I got a question though. David, what were you looking for information on specifically?
David, Stephen has a question for you.
Say again.
What information were you looking for?
Oh, I was asking, I don't even know his name.
Jennifer,
Oh, I mean, we met.
we did.
No.
You might have met my sister too. We look alike.
Okay.
It's terrible.
Information on the Walnut Hills Ambassador. I mean, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's a role that Jean Rayburn started, not last year, but the year before. And we had Anne, in that role last year.
It's our Director of Youth Insight. So,
Yeah.
a couple of,
Yeah, so I'm just making sure we have a succession plan. Looks like our succession plan is at Walnut currently, so,
Okay,
which is fine.
I didn't quite hear. I thought you're looking for information on urban gardens, but that's totally different.
Oh, wow, yeah.
I have a
That's
business
really-
card from that from One Earth Day.
but other than that, reporting on the Green Career Fair, they only had 10% of the 250 people that they had show up. So we're going to try to do a better job, once again, getting more people to
Hey,
sign up.
Chuck, I've got a little bit of update from Becca. I'm not sure if Pat is there, but Becca's
No, he's
Okay.
not on.
one of the things that Becca and I noted was we need to get the communications out a little bit earlier, not earlier, a lot earlier to the different schools. And she also wanted to have, we used a different email to get our responses back. And so we had an 11th hour thing to the schools. The other thing that I agree with her on as well, I did a mailing that I shoved in stuff for volunteers. I shoved in stuff on the fashion show. And if we can pull that together and get that to the schools earlier and
Right.
more often, that would be help. So I do, David, I do have a list of all of the school contacts for the area. It's actually, I'm housing it with Sustainability Central, but I did vet them, so I know what's good, what's bad. But emails don't work. Mail is okay. Personal contact is better. The other thing is working with the other group. Really didn't realize until later in the program, the Green Career Group, is that they were doing a lot more stuff, but Pat and Becca wasn't even aware of it. And so when I sat in the meetings with them and say, hey, we're duplicating, and so that could be a better coordinated effort to meet earlier with that group. You met with them, but the Green Job Fair, yeah.
The Green Job Fair.
You're
Or the
talking about
Green
Green Job
Job
Summit?
Summit, I mean, yeah.
Are you talking about Santa Pack?
Yeah, so the Green Job Summit, I
Yeah.
did attend some of those for the group, and that's when I realized, wait a minute, there's a lot of duplicate efforts, and so job coordinating with that. So that's the notes from Becca.
everybody, like have like a reception or something, or like a pretty intentional kind of.
Something to be better, because we had very few people at the Green Career Fair.
Yeah.
So can I, is this a part, is this inside of Earth Day?
Yeah.
It's right in the middle, around the gazebo. The Green Job Summit was a lecture, program.
Oh.
And then around the gazebo were companies looking for, and had green jobs.
Yeah.
And
it was better than we've had in the past. I mean, we've tried this lecture series at Summit and it was hit or miss. It really depended because we had it in inside, and if it was a rainy day, we had better attendance inside. But if it was a great day out, beautiful day out, it was
well,
not attended.
once again, I think the logistics are good. We need more publicity. They need to get,
Yeah.
5,000
Yes.
students to be aware of it.
Yeah.
And then maybe 50 will show up. So
So
That's-
the Green
that's true.
Career Fair, I'm hearing, didn't have a whole lot of people. What about the summit? Did the summit have more people?
no, they only had like,
Or am I getting
50
it back?
people
The
show
summit,
up
the
for
summit,
the whole day.
had things at every individual, booth. They did not, they had things at every individual booth and say, hey, you're doing something on the summit. And you can go, I think that's how they were operating. And so I went around and talked to people about it, if they were part of it or not. But so that way, if you were aware of it, they were. But anyway, coordination efforts. One is the speakers. The other thing is that the individual, you have to talk to the people about, do you have that? So that was just a coordination effort. But we need to tell folks that the schools and the people that that's what it is. And they get that message out earlier, then they can send people there. We have no idea of knowing if they were there or not because of what we did. So we really weren't measuring it. So that's
Yeah, if you wanted to connect at sometime in the next, month or so or whatever, depending on your schedule, to like, I just like a clearer download of the things, and then I'd be glad to help support.
Yep.
Well, I hope that Thanapak gets his contract renewed. So
Right,
he's
yeah.
a subcontractor for the city. So we'll be working on this certainly starting in October. Our regular next meeting, will be on top of it since we know the problems that we've had this year. So, but yeah, those are all good points, Steve, and I hope Becca wants to help us again since she has some experience with it.
Yep.
Don't have anything else going on. It's just kind of open for anything else we want to discuss.
I'm wondering, like, what kind of feedback that we got from attendees and everything about being downtown. I mean, I think, there was one of our groups, music groups at their, tent had a kind of an altercation with a attendee who was not pleasant, using foul language, et cetera, et cetera. But that's the only thing that I heard about that was negative. I think I saw one comment on Facebook, everybody's like, oh, I'm so glad you're downtown. I'm so glad you're downtown. And one person was like, you should be at Summit Park. So like, it seemed like there was, one out of, however many. I just saw one of those, but I'm just wondering what else.
Well, we did have our survey, and I'm sorry I didn't include that and don't have it with me. But two takeaways from the survey were that they'd like to have more vegetarian offerings in the food trucks, and they'd like to learn more about gardening,
Oh,
planting
man,
things.
this is a gardening city. It is.
So I'll bring that up at the next meeting about the report. 'Cause
Hey, Chuck, one.
Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed where the community gardens, all the different areas, and they were highlighting, talk about. They asked me how could they do it better, and how they could get the word out. but I really enjoyed their gardens and talking to them about that. And if that was, they were right in the center of things, I thought was, but they were,
Right, the neighborhood group.
yeah, those neighborhood
And that's
groups.
gonna,
Yeah.
hopefully that'll get better.
Oh, absolutely. It was amazing.
So good to have more of them.
Well, I'm sure we will next year. And I think we got about 60 surveys back and,
Oh.
and like I said, I'll send that report out. But there were two takeaways. Other than that, everybody liked, there was real positive feedback about the event. So, great. Well, yeah, thanks to the organization with the civic lawn in the neighborhoods. And then we had the Green Career Fair and the Green Jobs Fair. Maybe we should just brand that as one thing versus two things, so that it's one message that we're communicating, and that would help.
Yeah, I mean, I think if we put our heads to it, we can figure out how to fix it.
Yeah.
I know the city wants to continue doing that, and
The other thing that was challenging was that our space was away, right? And so like,
Instead of being in the middle.
it kind of encouraged us all to congregate away, right? Like, so like I had to push myself to go out and about and just be like with the right? So I wonder about moving our volunteer station from the porch out.
well, there was plenty of room right there at the fountain area where I put 8 booths at the last minute. We could have our headquarters right there on top of the fountain that doesn't operate and be right in the center.
So I think if we did that, the porch, maybe do that one of the green jobs for the summit, and then we could we could figure out if we could get donations to the porch through 3CDC to encourage to have drinks for free.
Oh, you mean for the summit?
Yeah, so 3CDC is a nonprofit, so it could ask for donations. I don't know how the porch operates yet, but we could figure out, like we used to do with Mad Tree, to raise money for us. Would be a little different concept, like having some donations of cans or something. I don't know, but I think we could get creative about the porch space.
Well, if we move our headquarters somewhere, we could.
Might be. I wonder how Lauren felt about it too. She didn't write about it, but
Yeah, it's about that.
yeah. I think it would just have to be, we have a tent for us to have cover, right? But I mean, at Summit, we decided to move away from the middle because of the wind, right? I mean, it was terrible. And there was no, even though it was kind of a windy day, it was awesome. I mean, that was just brilliant. Yes.
That's a good idea. So that would, we could be right in the center of the neighborhood area if we want. I mean, we're running it,
Yeah.
and that would be right in the center.
I'd like to talk to her. That's her space.
But the Green Job Summit's little square was on the other side of the sound shadow from the gazebo. I think that worked out well for them.
Yeah.
And the music could be louder, and
Sorry.
Always.
no, I mean, it could be a little louder and not affect them. So, well, good. That's all good news. Well, it was very successful. Everybody with the city liked it.
Good, so you got good feedback from them?
Yes, very good from
Oh.
Howard. So,
Oh, great.
so I think they contribute $15,000 to this event, and we're gonna need it to keep it there. But they're happy, and
That's great.
I have run into Carol and Zach, in my other life, and they were thrilled with our event as well.
Really?
Yeah, so the people from 3CDC.
Well, that's great,
Yeah.
because we put them to work.
Yeah, and they were like, yep. They were like, your event was amazing. We loved it. I mean, that's the feedback that I got
yeah, right.
from them.
That's good.
I ran into a couple of times and, oh,
Good,
so
good.
that's
Because it worked out for them setting up the tents and stuff.
Right,
And,
right.
we used, I think, everything that they had available.
Yes.
We used all the chairs they had. We used all the canopies. So
Right.
we're gonna need to maybe look at more chairs.
Yeah.
But it was a great, successful first time event, and, we're gonna just really try to get more people to show up.
And Chuck, I have to say, like, your vision around like hiring people was brilliant. Like, this year felt so easy. Like, it didn't feel like we've been running this with, let's say,
Yeah, right. A working board.
Yes.
And now we
Yeah.
started, I had an idea to hire people, young professionals and UC students to do little projects that are under the 1099 radar. So we pay them, $500 for social media, or Olivia helping with the contest was very helpful.
it was
So,
really-
I
it was
think-
really- and you're like, you're amazing. You're a great manager.
Right,
I was like,
you're mentioning all of these people.
Well,
honestly, I felt
you
like
know.
I saw a different side of Chuck.
It was
Great.
getting them on board was good, but I'm looking forward to having the good ones come back next year. And,
Yeah, we
and,
did.
cause it's a great brand. We get donations from corporations to do this. And if we can just be more of a management board and have these small jobs and, done by young professionals or UC students,
Yeah,
it's good.
yeah.
And, the UC students just took the bus down from UC.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and I need to tell you guys, this is so funny that like the next week I was in a meeting at UC. So, I do a service learning project in my classes, and, the service learning, there's like a little service learning group at UC. So like, let's say 20 professors also do service learning projects out of the whole of UC. And they asked like everybody to come together. And, the professor that we gave that award to, was
Terry.
President Terry. Yeah, yeah. She was hilarious. So she introduced herself first, and she's like, "Hi, I'm Terry Jacobs."
Mhm.
And she's like, "I do X, Y, and Z, and the Greater Cincinnati Earth Day Coalition just gave me an award. I don't really understand why they awarded me." But then, and then I went next or whatever later. I was like, "And I am on the board, and we love you, Terry." It was really funny. Yeah, yeah.
Well, I
Small
went to
world,
their-
Cincinnati.
Community outreach meetings. They're trying to reach
Yeah.
out to UC, reach out to Cincinnati, and I spoke to her class about
Yeah.
green building, and
Yeah,
3 of her students in that class helped get the neighborhoods that we did there and came and helped at the event. So that's why she got awards.
yeah. It was priceless.
We,
I was
we
like, oh,
given one for the teacher, one for
yeah.
government, and one.
But that's another,
Oh, yeah.
for the awards, that's another thing that it's great to have more PR around that,
Yeah.
because we're always, we're so concentrating on the logistics and doing all the
Yeah.
stuff that we need to do in order to get the thing together, the whole
Yeah.
program together, that we like scramble at the end all the time trying to get
Yeah.
nominations.
We get nominations, but then once we decide, like, we could have used UC's PR office
Right.
to like, highlight Terry, right?
Right, exactly,
Well, we should do that earlier and
exactly.
not wait for another.
I actually think we should probably do it by December, like, as I think about it, because that'll push us all to, I just.
Because
Exactly.
December is great. That'll start the whole festival out on a good foot. Because we know who we're gonna give these things to. Because, well, I'm very familiar with all the environmental people in the city, in the tri-state. So we
Yeah.
talk about it, and so it's not like it has to be at the last minute.
Like, at the very last minute, we were scrambling for the volunteer role, and you and Lynn were like,
Yeah.
"What about so-and-so?"
Well, we'll work that out, but I think that's a great idea to make that the kickoff PR announcement. For the,
Totally tossed out December out of the clear blue sky.
Well,
So
we-
is this awards for the previous year or is this awards
It's
for?
so there'll be the award, we'll announce the awards for 2027 is our first release. We meet in October, we'll decide in November, and we'll release it in December.
You're awarding people for in the summer for the 2027. I don't.
Maybe it's in January.
Well, we could do it in January,
Well,
that's
no,
fine.
no, I'm just.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm just like
Yeah.
asking, how do you do that?
That's fine.
So it's just, you know, people who are making an impact. It's a
Okay.
teacher, it's a nonprofit, it's a
Oh,
student,
I
it's
got you.
a.
It's not
Government
connected to the
agency.
actual birthday,
So,
right?
right.
Other than it's,
So it's.
I'm with you.
And
I
this
was-
year and in years past, we've decided 2 weeks prior, which gives us zero runway to.
Right.
To promote it,
Right.
Yeah.
Like move
it. Yeah.
right, so it
By
almost
moving
feels
it
like,
up. Move it up in January, be
Yeah.
perfect.
yeah.
Good idea.
I also think we could ask people to self. You know,
We, yeah,
I mean, and just, or nominate, not maybe.
well, we did
self-nominate.
include it on our newsletter that we send out and,
Yeah.
and that list is growing a little bit. We've got about 800 people signed up for our newsletter.
If we have a little bit of money left over, I mean, for the nonprofit one, it could be like, help your nonprofit win $500, you know? And we could have
Yeah,
like.
the whole, like, you know, like my kid, nominate them, like on
Yeah.
Facebook and
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
that whole dynamic.
yeah.
you know?
Oh, you can, where it's like, yeah, these are the people.
Yeah, it's-
vote.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Gary's got his hand up.
Right, right.
Well,
Yes?
wait,
Yeah, I gotta go in a minute, but I just had one question before we go. and
Okay.
that is, related to the date for next year.
All right. Well,
For
I
some
guess,
reason, this year, even though we usually had the event on a Saturday, it was on a Sunday at Washington Park. Do you know whether that same reason for doing it on a Sunday would apply next year? In which
Yeah,
case,
yeah.
it would probably be April 18 or April 25,
Right.
which were the two
Right.
Sundays adjacent to
Right.
Earth Day 2027.
It's probably gonna be that. I hope it's April 25th, but
Well, I was,
FCC.
I was-
so that-
it does, but I would also say that, the health expo for closing the health gap is always on that last
yeah,
Saturday.
so we're
The
not gonna
20,
get
so
that.
we are not gonna get that 25th of April.
Right.
I mean, I would say 100% sure that we will not get that. If they get it,
Yeah, I see what
instead
you
of,
mean.
you know, because FC doesn't have it, I mean, they will get that date. I mean, that's kind of a big signature event, right?
Well, we'll,
So,
would you rather on a Saturday, Gary? Is that what you're saying?
I'm just wondering, because there was some reason we ended up on a Sunday when usually it'd been on a Saturday. I had one person who said he didn't go because it was on a Sunday and it didn't work out for him, but you know,
right.
I'm just curious, whatever the reason was, would it apply next year?
I think,
Yeah.
Potentially, especially because next year what they're doing is it's a
Right,
sprint
it's a
season
sprint
in Major
season.
League Soccer
Yeah.
because they're switching to a winter-centered European-style calendar. That's why there's a sprint season next spring, which is a short season. If Cincinnati will simply play all of its Eastern Conference teams once, and then there's a little playoff thing, and
Yeah, it's 14
how we're gonna do it.
games.
Yeah, and that means that with schedule release, we'll have to, whether it's Saturday or Sunday, week in the other day.
So Gary, just to clarify, it was FCC that, there was an FCC game on that Saturday. And
Okay.
prior to every match, there's a big festival at, Washington Park. And they just start setting up really early. So it precludes us from setting up.
Okay.
Yeah, but it might be like 2028 where we'll have access to Saturdays in February. Do you have a sense of if soccer will? I don't have a sense of how the calendar will
The
shift.
calendar's gonna shift.
The off-season will shift from the winter to the summer. That's what's gonna shift, it's the off. Yeah,
So the off season right now is like November, December.
yeah,
And
like beginning of December to about the end of February, that's their off. county playoffs right now. Because the European style calendar, this weekend is the last season for the last weekend for pretty much all the European soccer seasons. So they'll have their summer break and be back by the end of August. That's how it works.
Because that's why the World Cup is when the World Cup is during that break.
Okay. So,
I gotta take
Thanks,
off. I
guys.
gotta fix
See you.
the-
Chuck, I got one more comment about the timing. I think for the general public, announcing stuff in January is good because people are planning what they're going to do for the year. But for schools and universities and high schools, those programs are done not in January because they're already set what they're going to be doing. The Earth Day clubs have already met and they may want to do something and they may be involved with that. But the students and the teachers do their planning before the semester, which would be in before the break, before Christmas break. Then when it
Oh,
gets
definitely.
so the timing.
I agree with,
Go ahead.
we've got to get out there September
Yes.
with, I mean, you got to get in everybody's ear as soon as they get into school.
Yes.
You know,
That's when they're planning their schedules, they're planning their clubs, they're planning their year, they're getting their budgets. But then if it's January, they're executing and it's, maybe too late.
well, we're gonna have to meet about that before our next meeting then, in October.
October's,
I think it might be
I thought we
today.
usually met in September. Am I remembering incorrect?
We can meet in September. We can meet in September.
Well, if you want to get teachers before school goes.
We really need to do August.
July or August.
Yeah.
Chuck, are you taking the summer off?
Feels like August.
I'm not sure, but I probably am gonna be, gone a couple of months in between August and September, July, early July.
Answer Steve's question about.
Yeah, okay, well, this is a good point, Steve. We'll work on that, and when I send out the meeting minutes, we'll leave that open that we want to meet. Right, we want to just meet and so that we can coordinate with the schools about the green garage jobs thing and other things. We want to get off with the art departments at the schools and stuff.
Yeah, the art department.
Okay, so that's good. We'll do that before our regularly scheduled meeting. Thanks, Steve. That's a good point.
Yeah, good idea.
All right,
Thank you very much. I'll be in touch.
See ya.
Great.
Yeah.